I'm recording now. Okay. So first of all, I'll just ask you some questions. Obviously, the first one is always going to be like, why did you decide to get the coaching in the first place?
Well, I played this game on and off with long periods in between for 10 years.
Okay.
And my peak was gold 2
Mm-hmm.
when I tried. But I played ADC. And when you only play League, uh, other games are not really fun.
Hmm.
I thought I would like to be good enough to at least get gold uh, on a consistent basis, like every other silver player.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just like your gameplay. I'm a bigger fan of yours, so
Oh, I
I
appreciate it.
decided why not?
Okay, cool. So when did you start playing jungle?
Um, a month ago,
Oh, okay. So you're like really new.
yeah, I'm especially new to melee chess in
Hmm.
general.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. I guess so. Then I'll definitely be able to help you even uh, if you're not doing the coaching for Echo. One thing, yeah, that I found interesting is that you say you don't have hands for Echo, but you choose to play Sylas. I think personally, Sylas is a much more mechanically difficult champ than Echo.
Uh, I tried Sylas a couple of days ago, and
Hmm.
if you would check my OPGG, uh, well, I think it's my kind of champion that I
Hmm.
can 1v9 on a consistent basis.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, it's let's not say like on a consistent basis you haven't played him that much, right? But of course, if you
yeah,
enjoy the champ, then go ahead and play it. I'm not telling you to not play him or anything. But I'm just saying, realistically, Sylas is a bit more mechanically difficult. You can do like a lot of animation cancels you probably don't know about. So if you get to higher levels, then that's the stuff you'll have to start worrying about. But in your elo, it's probably not gonna matter at all. So yeah, if you
yes,
enjoy
because
him, then play him.
of course, Sylas clear is actually terrible. You
Yeah.
can get easily invaded,
Mm-hmm.
and so on. After 3 camps, you are left with half HP. But I'm not worried about high gold or plat elo where people actually know what they are doing there. I'm just concerned at first to just get out of silver. That's all.
Yeah.
That's my first
No,
goal.
that's obviously possible with Silas for sure. I mean, there's people in pro play that, or like in high elo that are still picking Silas jungle, so he's definitely viable. Mm. I'm just saying, like honestly, he's actually more difficult than Echo, I would say. So I think that shouldn't be the reason why you're not playing Echo. I mean, or it
Uh,
just kind of shows me that you maybe don't fully understand the champions, which is of course fine. It's not meant as flame or anything. I'm just telling you, you know.
yeah, yeah, yes. Well, I did play Aka as my most played champion.
Hmm.
It's the champ that I tried to climb with.
Yeah.
Uh, but a lot of games, um, enemies would just tag MR a lot of times.
Hmm.
And another thing, like the main weakness that I experienced with Echo was I was extremely terrible in team fights.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter how fed I would get, I would always
And that's
get
better with Silas now because I feel like Silas team fighting is even more difficult.
Sylas. Why I like Sylas over Echo? So Echo CC is your W,
Hmm.
and for the life of me, I just cannot use that skill efficiently. And with Sylas, you have your E, which is a hard CC, first of all. And also, Sylas has healing.
Hmm.
So, I don't know, you will see. For whatever reason, it just feels very natural for me to go in with him.
Hmm.
And for another reason, I don't know why, I just tend to back off a little bit uh, when my skills are on cooldown, and I cannot do that with Echo. It's just you try to proc your passive, right? And it's very difficult to do it in a team fight, at least for me personally.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I think especially against low heal players, they often don't really expect the healing from Sylas and whatever, so it definitely helps you a lot. I feel like at some point, when people start expecting it, then you will notice that Sylas is maybe not as easy to play as you might think right now. But of course, if you're having success with him, if you're having fun, then for sure go ahead. I guess I can share my screen as well with you really quick. Obviously, I'm not an expert on Sylas, so I can't say too much about the Sylas stats and whatever because I don't really know how they should look like. In general, I would say, can you share? Can you see my screen, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, good. In general, of course, your CS numbers are really low in some games. Of course, Sylas, as you said, he has a pretty bad clear, and I think he shouldn't have too high CS numbers compared to someone like Echo. But still, like I think you should at least hit 6 CS per minute, maybe 6.5. He's not that terrible at clearing, you know. Like of course he's not great, but you didn't hit 6 in any game, I think. So that's definitely something we'll look out for. Also, yeah, like in general, what would you say? What would you say is your biggest weakness overall?
Uh,
Not just
Probably
like
the
champ
biggest
wise, just in general. Yeah.
mentality, first of all, but it's not something that probably anyone can help with. It's something that you have to resolve yourself.
Do you
But
rage or what do you mean by mentality?
yeah, I type a lot and I get
Mm.
chat restricted quite often.
Okay. So
So
have you tried turning chat off then?
yeah, it doesn't help. I would like to get chat restricted forever and I wouldn't mind it at all.
You know,
But
I've been there. You know, I used to have chat off, and then sometimes I would just turn it on just to type. So
yeah,
yeah, I can
uh, but
understand.
but for this session, my expectation is to um, probably learn uh, the pathing.
Mm-hmm.
Like um, like what do I do and like what do I do after first clear? What do I do after I get back to base and do my first purchase? Like
Mm-hmm.
what is the thinking? Uh, what where I should focus on? Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, which lanes I should play for? That's
Yeah.
one part. And one thing I do not do at all, and I have zero awareness or skill, is tracking the enemy jungler.
Mm-hmm. I
So
think you shouldn't worry about that too much. You're in silver, you know, like that's stuff you can worry about when you're in high diamond. It's honestly more than enough to just focus on your own gameplay, focus on
mm,
just starting to clear from the right spots and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think since you're completely new to jungle, I would say I don't want you to go into the game completely blindly. So if you're saying you have like you're telling me you don't really have any idea at the moment, what you're doing, right? Like after the first year, for example, then I would say maybe I should go in game so I can show you. You know, I think it's easier with some visual help. By the way, are you using Blitz or something for jungle
yes,
timers? Okay, that's good.
yes. Ever since I started watching you, I
Mm-hmm.
instantly downloaded it.
Has it helped you? Do you feel like?
Yes, of course, it's a game changer completely.
Okay. Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, for example, the Blitz kind of tells you it should really help you already to know where you need to go. You know,
Mm,
because yeah, like the thing is usually all you want to do is just start clearing in a straight line, you know, because you want to be able to walk across the rift and then not have to walk back and forth and that kind of stuff. So, but I will show you. I will show you. It's obviously oh cool. Someone got banned. I'll just show you really quick what I'm generally saying. Also, I guess I can show you some Sylas mechanics. Maybe. I mean, I'm not great on Sylas. I've played him a bit. You know, like you can always auto attack while you do the abilities. You know, like your abilities give you attack speed, right?
mm-hmm.
After you use them, so you can do like very quick attacks and then cancel the animations and that kind of stuff. Especially with your E, but you can do it with all of them, I guess. So you know, like, what do you usually do when you jungle? You just clear like From here, 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 like full clear, or what do you usually do?
So when I started playing Sylas, of course it's stupid thing to do, I guess, but I watched the Koreans a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and they pretty much always do 3 camps into gank,
Yeah.
like level 3 into gank all the time. That's what you have
Honestly,
to
I
do.
think with Sylas that's not even too bad. I mean, it's even fine with Echo in the current meta, but especially on a jungler like Sylas that doesn't really like clearing, I can see that it's probably the best thing you can do. I'm not even sure if clearing the AoE camps is a bit more difficult. Let me actually try the clear. I haven't. Maybe I should have done this before this session. I'm sorry, but
No
at
problem.
least now you can
We
also
have fun.
see, right? See, like you can do this kind of. I think you can do it even better, where you just weave in the autos while you're kind of dashing and that stuff.
hmm One more thing, what I do not do a lot and I can't do well is leashing.
What? What do you mean?
So I usually just go too far and I reset the camp.
Oh,
Like
well,
what you
there's
are
like the
doing
circle
here.
here, right?
Yeah.
You know, so just don't let the things go outside of it. That's everything. I mean, it's better to not go too far. Like, it doesn't give you a huge advantage, of course, to... Also, one thing that really helps with Sylas mechanics, in my opinion, is attack move. I don't know if you have found that. You see how it's
Yes.
like red? Yeah, that's super
Yeah.
important for
Yeah.
doing the animation cancels.
I played ADC for 10
Ah, yeah,
years.
right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, but I think for Sylas especially, it's super important to have kind of good mechanics with him. Yeah, like the clear is obviously quite horrible, although, I mean, with the leash, you probably would be decently healthy here. Mm,
Yeah, so you are level 3 now, right? You cleared
yeah,
your
yeah.
camps, and for example, I would do red, I would do wolves, I would do maybe grandpa or blue buff, and then I would look for gank. If I fail, then I look for scuttle. If their enemy jungler is taking scuttle, I just leave it and recall most of the time.
Okay, but why do you... Wait, what again? Like, red, wolves, gromp?
Mm-hmm.
But
Or
why
blue
don't you
buff.
just clear the full site?
Because you would have to sprint to, for example, if you are planning to gank top lane, you have to be there quicker
No,
than
but
you
how
would.
do you... Like, do you know that they're gonna be gankable when you do that path every time? I feel like no.
I check, of course, I check the lane state,
Mm,
but
okay.
I do a full clear basically never with
I
Sylas.
think, yeah, maybe just try that out. I mean, obviously, or not try that out, but try just clearing like I did here, just like this, and then you're around here, and then you see what you can do, you know?
Mhm,
Then you can see if top is gankable. If it is, nice, you just walk here, you go,
mhm,
and then you gank it. And if not, then you just keep clearing. Or you see mid is maybe a little bit low, then you can walk around here, gank them, you
mhm,
know? And I think that's a much more consistent playstyle, you know, than going, especially, the problem is if you clear like red, wolves, grump, then first of all your bot set. I mean, okay, I can understand that you don't want to clear these camps, but like it always forces you to go top. Then, you know, if you do this path, you have to gank top. Then, and in games where you can't gank top, then you might be completely worthless. So I
yeah.
think in your elo, it's. I mean, I can see, you know, the Koreans, they do it and whatever. They have much better understanding of lane states and whatever. So they can probably predict, and also you probably see it in videos, you know, where it worked, of course, you know. So that's like you might not get the realistic, and it's because they have played thousands of games. They know how the lane states look. They know how it plays out and everything. So
Mhm.
it's
Yeah,
just
makes
very
sense.
different in my opinion. So I think for low elo, it's just by far the most consistent to just full clear your sites, and then of course see they will come up again at the same time. That's the important part because then you can clear them again, and they're kind of close together.
Mhm.
So yeah, someone in chat is saying also that it's not bad to leave one campus cells because you're quite low. I guess you can do that. Like I'm as I said, I'm not a Sylas expert. Maybe the Sylas clear is better to do with not full clearing, but as I said, like I think the path, if you do this, at least take the buff, right? Like I don't know, I don't think you
Mm-hmm.
should ever leave the buff
Mm-hmm.
up. Like you get level 3 from these 3 camps as well, right? You can leave the Gromp up or the Wolves. I don't know which one's better. I don't usually do these kind of paths, of course, but yeah, I guess we should. Well, one thing we can look at, which is also something I could recommend everyone, which will also be in my newest coaching video, is like this site, League of Graphs. I think it's a very interesting site. This is for your Sylas performances. You can see so many things here, right? Like you can see all the win rates and whatever. I think it's very good to just keep track of these stats and see like where your deficiencies are, right? I mean, on Sylas, you're apparently performing better than the average silver player. Let's just compare to like diamond players. You see, for example, diamond players they have better CS per minute than you. So that's definitely something you can you should improve on. You know, because other Sylas diamonds they have, or let's even say platinum. Yeah, like platinum is also more. You know, like that's definitely an area then that where you need to improve. You're on
Mm-hmm.
par with other silver players, but yeah, obviously this just shows that this is the area that is biggest to improve on. Also, I guess I don't know, duels win rate, for example, with me, like my Echo duels win rate is like around 80%. Is just because I know my limits really well. So I think this is something that should improve over time in general. You know, if you play the champ a lot. Of course, now you just started playing it, so it's understandable. You're just learning the limits overall. But I think like the duels winner especially is one you should keep track of
Mm-hmm.
a
Can you
lot.
check my Echo stats?
Yeah, I actually did that earlier. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, they for example, there I okay. What am I doing? For example, there one something I noticed right away was like you seem to be quite passive, right? Your damage dealt is below average even for silver. Your kills and assists are also below average, and also and like as a result of that, I guess your gold is also below average. And see, for example, your duels are 60%. Um,
Yes, and yeah, that makes sense because after each game I always check my damage dealt, and with Echo for some reason it was always so low, and I didn't really know why I formed this passive playstyle, and this is probably the main reason why I switched to I tried Viaga, then now I switched to Sylas, because
mhm.
with Echo for whatever reason I'm extremely passive. I full clear, and games usually just slipped out of my hands.
Yeah, you seem to also struggle in like the mid to late game, it seems like from these graphs, and also especially from the item completion. For example, my item completion third item is like around 21 minutes. So this is like 6 minutes longer, and like Echo is a champ that can really snowball very well. Also, one thing that's interesting, of course, is the champs you struggle against. For example, Jarvan. That's also a reason why I banned Jarvan. I think he's very strong. Um, what's your ban, by the way?
Game.
Kane?
Hmm.
Yeah, understandable. Okay, I mean, these are your Echo stats. As I said, on Sylas, I can't really say too much about the stats, but in general, I would always recommend people to just kind of, if you actually are serious about improving, I think you should just keep track of these stats. Also, patterns are actually quite interesting. This is not for champs, but for example, see, like one thing I know, it also said on your profile, on your overview, that you're like surrendering a lot. So maybe that's definitely something. As you said, your mental is a bit of a problem for you, so that probably plays into it. But you
Hmm.
surrender way more than the average silver player, so that's definitely it.
Yeah,
Probably some of those games you could have won. You know.
this that it hurts, but it's a very honest, good, clear look at yourself.
Yeah, but like that's one of those things you could easily fix by just pressing no. You know.
Yeah, noted for sure.
Also, see, also I guess the late game that you kind of struggle in the late game seems to like the game duration. The longer the game goes, it kind of goes down a little bit. Like if it goes to real late game, I don't know how many of those games you've actually played. It's obviously kind of hard to know here, but that's definitely
Yeah, as
something you can
as
see.
I've said, I just feel like it. I think a champ should fit you like a glove, and for some
Mm-hmm.
reason, I really tried with Ekka, but it's just I just can't play him like other champions.
Mm. Yeah. Also, you should queue way more on Tuesdays, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm a 30-year-old married man. I don't have all the time in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
Well,
No, I understand. Okay, I guess you can just go in game then. I guess we will just. I think the game review will probably be the most interesting part to just see like pathing mistakes and that stuff
yeah.
because that's probably something I'll be able to help you the most with.
So I hope that I want. I hope that I will be able to play as well as I can, but we'll see.
You know, it's no worries. Like, obviously, like especially in coaching sessions, if you lose or whatever, then that's can be actually a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, the more mistakes happen, the more you can learn. Oftentimes, chat restricted still. Mm. I mean, why do you think that you're chatting a lot?
Um, it's just that no, in silver games, um, the problem is that there are too many people in silver, and probably another yellows as well. And the skill difference, it's so insane that you kind of have to always 1v9
Yeah,
in this LO. And when you are trying your hardest, like you are try harding in your games, and almost every single game we have multiple lanes who are just straight up inting or griefing you, not helping you, and so on. It just it's maddening,
no, I
but
understand.
it's my problem. Like I understand it, I'm aware of it, I try to deal with it, but
Yeah, I mean, just realize, I guess, that chatting never helps. I guess.
yeah.
Obviously, I know it's easy to say, but you know. Okay, I think those are also the rooms that I saw people play.
Yeah.
They definitely make sense. Item build wise, I think you're also definitely building the right items. I think in some of the earlier games, like the ones where you started playing Sylas, you're building a bit too defensive. I think you should also build Rabadon's third in most games with Sylas.
Agreed, absolutely.
Yeah, like the past few games where you kind of popped off, you definitely built that, right? So
Yeah, because after Abadans you one shot everyone.
yeah, and in general, I think like just building defensive items in low elo is just a mistake because you don't need them or you shouldn't need them, and it will help you learn. Like playing without them will just help you learn to how to overcome these like difficulties even without defensive items. And if you play with them, it's kind of a you're just getting into bad habits that you don't need to get into. Of course, items like Zonias and whatever are super good for Sylas, but don't build them too early. I feel like I think like on Sylas, Zonias should be like fourth item generally.
Mm-hmm. It's a little bit sad for me that Sylas can't build Nashvars or
Yeah,
Ridgefield.
I
I
guess.
like
Well,
those
I guess
items.
Lichbane is not that bad, honestly, probably. But there's better items usually. Definitely have some decent ults to steal here.
Yeah.
Fiddle ult's not that great, but Diana and Blitzcrank very nice.
Also, what I like about Sylas is the ult because it's
Mm.
relatively on short cooldown.
Uh,
And
yeah, what I would is like I thought you were gonna say you like the ults because it's like always something fresh in every game, because that's what I like about Viego, for example. I love playing Viego because every game is gonna be a little bit different because you're always gonna play the enemy champs as well, and with Sylas it's kind of similar where you're always gonna have different ults.
they are going full AP. What?
Yeah, you definitely should take a more here as well. If you're playing against an AP jungle and then any other AP lane, it's usually worth. And in the jungle nowadays, you don't need the armor anyways to stay healthy. I mean, with Sylas it's obviously a little bit more risky, but still.
I literally one-shot all of them.
Yeah, at some point you definitely do. I mean, Gwen probably gonna be a bit tanky, but other than that. By the way, I didn't ask, like, I usually ask the question also, what do you think, like, mechanics are? Have you watched any of my coachings or no?
I did.
Okay.
But like it depends on the champ.
Mm-hmm.
For example, my best ADC is Vayne, and I don't think you can play Vayne without mechanics at all. So on certain champs, my mechanics are okay, but for example, with Ekka, I'm just Iron 20,000.
Okay. No, but what I actually mean is, by what mechanics are, is just that you really need to think about the enemy's mechanics, enemy's abilities especially. You know, that's what really will help you get good mechanics. Just thinking about what the enemy champs actually can do when you play against them, and then being able to react properly.
So
That's
okay,
basically what I'm saying.
so they are insanely far ranged. We have some poke.
Really, I feel like you have absolutely no poke.
Kai'Sa W.
Kaisa, yeah, but Kaisa
Gragas
W,
Q.
like, she's not gonna, no, but they're not like actual poke abilities. They obviously can poke a little bit, you know, but they're actually more like tickle abilities. You know, they don't deal a lot of poke damage. Poke is something I would consider something like Ezreal, who throws out a Q every 2 seconds. And not like a W. Kaiser, AD Kaiser W deals almost no damage, and Gragas Q is also not. Is like a very easy to dodge ability as well. It's not one where you can say it's an actual poke champ. Or like Victor E, for example, is a poke ability. It's very easy to hit, doesn't have a long cooldown, deals quite a lot of damage.
Okay, so they will invade for sure.
Probably, I mean, you always need to be ready for that when you play against Blitzcrank.
So I wonder now, like I usually, so probably they will come through here.
Possible. I think, yeah, you should just stack with your team if they're not AFK. I think Sylas level 1 is pretty strong with his E.
Yeah, he is.
I think Sylas is also a very good invade champ, actually. I don't know if you ever go for invades, but
Don't have the skill.
I mean, you just need to press E and hit it. That usually is enough to at least get summoners. Well, your team is kind of not there, but yo, you can ping the word for 5 gold, you know. Yeah.
Really?
You know, you see, you got
Whoa!
5 gold.
Oh wow! I did
That's
not know
crazy.
that. Okay, the coaching is already working. Man.
Wow, that's actually funny that you didn't know that. I thought that was like, I don't know. That they added that this season, of course, but
Like you are coaching bronze and silvers all week, and you are still surprised?
no, I don't know. I feel like even most silvers and whatever know that it's not like it's just pressing one button, you know.
I'm really surprised they didn't wait. Maybe it will be a late invade or some shit.
I mean, some blitzcrank. You know, at the same time, it's super obvious that a lot of blitzcranks will invade, so a lot of them don't even go for it. So
Okay, Gromp Wolves.
what? Just clear Grump. The thing is, do you want me to tell you a lot in game, or do you want me to just let you play more and then we see the mistakes that you did afterwards?
Up to you.
Okay, I guess we'll just see. If I have something I feel like I should tell you, then I will. One thing in general, I would say, I feel like you should probably look to gank bot here in this game. So starting bot side, like if you start bot side, it basically means that you're going top, you know. So if you want to gank bot, then you should usually start top side. But if you just go for the 3-camp path, then I mean, see, like now for example, you can't really go bot because they're under their tower. So I think you should just full clear. Or at least, yeah, one thing you need to do is definitely look at your lanes more already. Like, look at top lane, for example. Yeah, you could have probably just ran there. You can still do it after clearing this camp. Also look mid now, the Diana is standing super close. Your both lanes are super gankable.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough. I should probably take my red now.
Could actually still go top probably, but I mean the Gwen is super overextended. I already have a huge Sylas mechanic for you after the game. That will help you a lot, I think. She might actually still be there somewhere.
Can he check the fucking
I
bush?
mean, kinda. I mean, you should probably just go jungle now. Or take the crab for sure. Take the crab and then also the crocs. Or gank mid if like you need to look mid as well here, especially because the fiddle is also around there. And blitzcrank as well, I guess. Yeah, you can just kill him. Nice.
Unlucky.
I mean,
It's
it's fine. It's okay.
Okay.
I actually think you shouldn't buy Dark Seal on Sylas, honestly. I don't like it. I think on Sylas you die too much generally. Should buy Sweeper though.
No, but I do like it.
Okay, I mean go ahead, but I feel like it's just not worth. Like, you know, compared to Echo, you just die way too much. Because you need to go in oftentimes and also just die for your team. You should start clearing from your Grump here.
Oh, I should have went top.
I mean, unless you want to go bot now, which you maybe can because the wave is huge, but obviously you need to look bot for that as well to have the info. Fiddle is top, maybe ping your Gragas. See, like now if you can't gank bot, then you just kind of need to walk back to the top side. Guess you could do Drake here.
You think so?
Yeah, if your team, I think your team should reset on him. Just look mid again, I guess, and then you know mid is super gankable again. She's even going in. She's dead here.
I'm also a little bit nervous because I'm playing on Steam, and the people are laughing at me right now. So you know.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You're good.
I'm joking, of course.
Yeah. You definitely need to look at your lanes more just to know what's going on. But I think now you should just recall. There's not really anything you can do. And so you can buy the alternator, which is of course a decent buy. It's like where are you looking at yourself? Just look at the lanes. I think definitely, especially bot lane right now, because that's where you can go.
Yeah,
And the Vayne's a little bit low.
Maybe I should just run for Diana again. She's really sprinting it.
Yeah, I mean she's full HP, but she's definitely playing very aggressive.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, nice. Take the bot crap here and then, or maybe look bot as well.
Oh, no
Oh,
crap.
crap. I think you can just go bot there, super far up.
No.
No, never mind. No, just go clear jungle now. Start from the grump though. Well,
Oh, really?
yeah, the thing is, like, you want the. I mean, there's one argument, of course, that you want the buff to respawn faster, but actually, I think you should want the buff to last as long as possible for you to play the game with it, you know? Like, when you do it now, you will use it a lot of the time for just clearing jungle, and that's not really useful. You would rather have it when you want to fight.
Makes sense.
Especially the red buff, of course. Like, the blue buff doesn't matter so much, but the fiddle was bot. You can maybe get into the lane brush there. You know, you can just walk to your lane, whatever, we will talk about it afterwards.
Probably worth it. Hi, guys. Shit. Okay, I'm out.
Alright,
If
it's fine. Like, how much gold do you have? I think you can buy a Night Harvester, right? I think you should just base. Or, yeah, actually, you can help.
Oh, should I help him?
Yeah.
I will.
No,
Let
don't take it, don't take it. Your Kaiser's there. Just take the crab. Take the crab, take your wolves, and then recall. And go to the crux next. I think you should take your wolves as well, although just so they respawn as well. But I think now it's also a little bit late.
Well, you see, now you are telling me some things to do, and my brain shuts off.
Yeah, that's where we'll talk about it afterwards as well. You know. I think
Nice.
generally you want to clear all the camps on one side that you're at, you know. And also you want to look at the gold that you need, for example. Yeah, like here it helped you get boots as well. Otherwise you would have had to wait a little bit of gold, I think.
Now I clear my jungle and then.
Yeah, start from Crux, start from Crux though.
Okay, my Gragas is doing fine. He got ganked. He survived.
Yeah, game's going well, you're really fat. You should look top, definitely, see if you need to help. See, like, they're fighting. You might just be able to run at her. You know, she doesn't have any wards. Well, just go back to clearing your jungle, maybe do Herald.
He wants to do it now.
Yeah, definitely do first. Definitely do red first. Don't give a fuck about what your team pings. Just do Herald first. Red first and then Herald. At least red because it will give you level 8 as well, and it will give you red buff, of course, which makes you much stronger. You don't necessarily need to clear the raptors, but I think I would also clear them just because it doesn't take a long time. Or kill Gwen, of course, here if she is low.
Oh, come on.
You can kill her. Yeah, she's way too far up here. And she's on 1 HP. Well, I'm not sure if you will catch her. Now they saw you. Just do Herald, actually.
I'm alone here.
Yeah, you are alone, but you're super strong, and Fiddle doesn't have ult, and Gwen has base, so we'll just do it fast enough. And if Fiddle comes, you can just kill him. And Diana is here already, which is A little bit scary, but she probably won't walk here right away, so...
Oh my god.
Could look into his jungle as well here. See if something's up.
Oh, dude.
Should probably place the Herald mid. Just place mid. Get rid of it, get some plays. Your stream quality is quite bad. Can you restart the stream? It's very, very pixelated.
Okay.
Oh, well, maybe not. Ah, actually, it's fine now. Never mind.
Oh my god.
I think you're chilling. You can't do much. Should probably just base here.
Gwen is coming.
No, but she can't really do anything. Or take the Crux here. I don't know. I mean, depends on how greedy you want to be.
But see what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I'm the only person playing this game. Like, everyone else is intel. Like, so
so
annoying.
just see it as a challenge for you to carry then. You might actually be able to kill her here with Fiddle ult. Just ult. Yeah. Yeah, don't give the shutdown, definitely. Oh my god.
Fuck.
Yeah, just recall.
Like,
It's fine, like, they're still doing okay, you know. It's...
they're running it down, man.
See, but now you can maybe just collect their shutdowns though. Okay, that's obviously a problem. I think you should look bot instead of clearing your jungle here. They're quite far up and they're probably low after fighting. Every time someone's fighting on your team and like, or your teammates die, then you need to look at the lane and see how their HP are looking. See, like, you can just one-shot her. I would go through the river though.
He
I
knows.
don't think you get her, but
Like, why that dude did this to us? Nuts.
might be an idea to buy mages here, so you can maybe carry. It's obviously super risky, but you're one man less, so one player less, so it's just okay. Well, what the fuck? That's
That's silver for you, man.
yeah, I know. Like the rage quits are actually such a problem in low elo. People just don't realize how winnable. Like this game is obviously super winnable.
It's fucking crazy, dude. Sorry for swearing.
Oh, okay, he's back. Kaiseisen though. Yeah, unlucky that you have a rage quitter. I mean, it's definitely still winnable, to be honest, if it's 4v5 now.
Oh,
But I feel like your team
that,
doesn't
that,
want to win. Like, they don't want to win hard enough. If everyone's, like, trying really hard, then you could probably win this 4v5. Especially with how fat you are. Okay. I mean, you're fat as fuck, so... This is winnable, honestly.
oh, lucky.
Lol. This,
Mechanical
the
outlays.
Blitzcrank just left you. Oh my god. Okay. I mean, if they keep playing like this, you actually win. I think probably Zonius is the smartest buy here. Damn, your team is so disrespectful. You're 13-2 and they want to FF.
It's fine, dude. I'd like old me would be raging, would be mad as fuck. But now,
You're just dead inside, or
yeah.
I mean, I understand. Those kind of games obviously hurt the most to lose because you obviously did a lot of things right, especially compared to your teammates, but it just, I mean, overall it should still show you that you would have usually probably won this game, so just if you play more, then you will also win a lot of these games.
He fucking evaporated, man.
You can just kill him. Well, I think you can chase him actually.
Hey, winnable, dude.
Yeah, I think you need to start taking towers.
Yeah.
Or maybe ping for Nash, although like without the Kai'Sa you have no DPS at Nash, sadly. It's definitely a problem. I think you should take the Blitzcrank ult.
I had it.
Oh, you had it. Oh, I'm dumb.
Oh, fuck. Yeah,
Okay.
60 days.
Honestly, I think you should buy Magi's here. Magi's and the cooldown thing, the finish code. I think Seeker's Armguard is the worst one to buy of those items, especially for Sylas. And especially against a full AP team. Man, but it really seems like people in this elo can't deal with Sylas. It's actually crazy.
Wait. Let's get disconnected.
Right? How
What?
can you see that?
summoner has disconnected. You didn't see it?
Yeah, who? But Blitzcrank?
Yeah.
But I can you see from the enemies? Really?
Yeah, for some reason it showed me.
That's weird.
Oh fuck.
Oh no, it was the that. There's definitely, you're probably gonna lose now, but there's definitely still a lot of things you can learn from this game. Also, Sylas mechanically wise.
How would you rate it
What do you mean?
out of 10?
The what?
How are my Sylas mechanics?
They're actually quite okay, but there's definitely some things I will show you that will help you or tell you. Like, oftentimes you could W before you use your second E, so it's much easier to hit. But you'll see that in the game replay as well. Like the W also has some range, right? It's a small dash, so oftentimes you can W to get really in their face and then E. So it's much easier to hit the E.
Oh, dude. Oh, fuck me. Okay, it outplayed me there for sure. That fear. I would have had Zonias for that, you know? They are so useless, man. Nice. This is what it was such an easy win.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, I think, at this point. Got the bitch.
It's just so hard for you to take objectives, sadly, without an ADC.
What do I build?
Press tab. Yeah, actually, Banshees probably, they have so much AP. Has very high value here. And also, since you're obviously like the only carry, you kind of need defensive items because they will use a lot on you.
See, it's up again. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know, of course. I mean, Sylas' ult cooldown is mostly on the champs, of course.
Just don't want to get fucked by.
I think you can kill her.
Oh fuck no.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. Nothing you can do, honestly. So, I was winning a lot of games, and I know it's like paranoid thinking, but this season especially, every time I start winning in this elo, I instantly get teams like this. I don't know why.
It's definitely rough. I mean, I don't know. There's not really anything I can say about that if that's your actual experience. Wait, let me Let me just really quickly download the game and we'll do the game review.
I play it, right?
Let me see. Okay, tell me when you can see the screen.
Yes, I can. Wait, I will stop streaming. Can you give me a second? I'll
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like
sure.
a minute. Right, I'm back.
Okay. See, like first of all, actually, one thing with Sylas, one invade that is so good that I can recommend you to maybe try out is especially on blue side. Is like walk here, walk into the brush, and then you can hug the wall with your whole team. And with Sylas, like you have a lot of range for level 1 champ, right? For CCing, so you can often if they cover here, whatever, and they will not see you early enough. You can just E and then hit your second E and or at least force like a sum or whatever. It's Sylas is very good at invading, so definitely try that out. But obviously, like that's not the important stuff here. Of course, yeah. Now you know that you can ping wards for 5 gold, and also the more important part is obviously that they're marked now as well for your team. You know,
Yeah,
your team can see that now. So, especially as a jungler, this is obviously super helpful. See, as I said already in game, of course, if you're starting on bot side, it means you're clearing these camps, and either you're going bot, and then the enemy jungle can invade you because they know that you see, like they know you have blue buff. They know that you've just been here, so he could technically just run over here, and in high elo people will 100% do that as well. They will just invade you, so if you go for a gank, or if you just full clear, then that means you are gonna be in top side. You know, you have no way to gank bot. So you're basically, with starting blue here, you're basically choosing to not be able to gank bot early, right? And I'm not saying this is your fault at all that the Kaiser rage quit, of course, you know, but it was very hard for you to play around bot with this start. So it definitely didn't help, I guess, you know, like it was just very difficult for you to help them. Of course, there were situations where you could have helped them, but This pathing, like the fact that you chose to start blue, just made it kind of difficult
Would
to
you
really
say
go
that
bot.
in general you should play more for bot?
Yeah, I would say so. I think bot lane is the stronger lane, and also you can get 2 kills there. Like especially for champs like Ekko, I think that's quite important to be able to get more kills. Yeah, but as I said with Sylas, I'm not super sure because you're like the clear is a bit less healthy, so maybe clearing the red side camps will get you to squishy. I'm not sure. Here's as I said, like you're here in this situation, you could have just ran top 100%. See, like get into the habit of if you're crossing from one side to the other, always look at the top lane, always look at mid lane. Before you clear any jungle, because this is 100%, like you can run straight top here, she's 100% dead. Right, and even after you clear these camps, she still doesn't, like, this will happen so incredibly much in silver. People, like, what this Gwen is doing is completely illegal. Like, she, in any elo, like, probably at platinum already, she would just get punished super hard here already. Obviously now mid is also not respecting you at all. So, and you could still go top as well here. But now she's kind of, well, if she would be human, she would be warding here, but I guess she's not even warding. So now, this was actually, see what you could have done here. First of all, like the flash was honestly a bit too early in my opinion. I think you didn't necessarily have to flash here. But more importantly, you could have W'd. You could have W'd the Diana to dash onto her. See, now W. Or like E close to her, W, and then you're gonna have a much easier time hitting your E. Because now you were not even able to use your W at all. Get into the habit of using your W to get even closer to the enemies when you're trading with them. When you're close enough to use your W, then use it before your second E. Because yeah, then you will be completely close to them and it's very hard to miss the E. And there were a lot of situations where you could have done that and it would have helped you. Now when you're already kind of committed to not jungling, now is also a good time. You could still just run top here. See, like, you're just not looking at your lanes nearly enough, but if you just look top here, you see that she's half HP, she's just dead, you know? And if she's, especially if enemies are above this line, right, this invisible line, I guess, where the rocks are, you should always see if you can gank them, and usually you can, because the lane is so long to run away, like, she has to be at least behind this lane to be safe, you know? And also Gragas is good gank setup in general, but you don't even need gank setup here when she's this low. You can just kill her yourself if she's so overextended. Like, she's massively overextended the whole time for the past 30 seconds, honestly. And now she even flashed. You were just very, like, you just really didn't punish her at all here. And now, of course, she was able to recall because you didn't really have info. This is honestly a bit of time wasting as well, just going here. You know, it's very low chance that you actually find her when she can recall anywhere. She could have even went to her tower, you wouldn't have seen it. So now you're just genuinely wasting like 20 seconds. Meanwhile, you could have cleared your Crocs, you could have cleared the crab, which I also tell you to do, right? Clear the crab. And now since you're also doing this, it enables you to even go mid here, punish the Blitzcrank for inting. Like always look for these plays when you're healthy enough, especially. This was like there was actually a pretty crazy E that it hit. But this is obviously all still completely fine. You have quite a lot of gold. As I said, I think Dark Seal, as you noticed, right, you died quite a lot. Of course, it was also because you were 4v5, but also in your other games, you have quite a lot of deaths. I feel like Dark Seal just doesn't fit Sylas that well because it's super easy to die on him compared to a lot of other champs. Also, what I said here, of course, see, the enemy bot lane is under tower. Either she dies here in a second or she's just going base. She's not gonna walk up anytime. Like, you want them to walk up at least until here or here maybe to be able to gank them. So if you start clearing at the wolves, that means you're gonna do this and then grump and then you're here, right? And that means you want to move further down because you don't want to waste time. So it means you are looking for a bot gank, but in this situation there is not really any bot gank realistically. So what you should do here is just clear Grump, Wolves, and then you're more around mid, you're more around top, you know, and also around the camps that are coming up again, and that's what you want to be. That's what will give you the higher CS numbers. Like, let's see what happens here. I think you just run bot, but there's nothing to do there, right? Like, because the Blitzcrank is full HP, and also if you're just like, see, how are you ever gonna kill him? He's just way too far back.
Yeah, makes sense.
See, so now you're just wasting time. There's not, and you should have known that was gonna happen, like that you wouldn't really get anything. I mean, you can go mid here, of course. Now I think you kill her as well, right? Because she's just inting and overextending the whole time. So this is obviously turned out fine, but you could have also done that obviously from the other side, right? So yeah, this wasted like again probably 20 seconds or whatever, and everything together it was already almost a minute wasted this game out of 6, which is quite a lot. Also, I think you should always try to hit the second E on the big one. Obviously not a huge deal, but it deals some damage, right? And the big one has the most HP, the big raptor. Yeah, see now, I think I told you here as well to just recall. There's not really anything you can do. Because your top lane is base, mid lane just died, your mid lane is base. You have a decent base with the alternator, so it's fine. Was it here? I think here you could have done a lane gank. I think you're just punishing the Dana again. No, this is fine. I think also here you could have maybe done the W instead of E, you know. You're kind of close to her. Just, you know, see, like, E onto her, W, and then you will hit your E 100%. Trust me.
Yeah, okay. I kinda, in the heat of the moment, I forget that W is a dash.
Yeah. That's what I'm telling you. But just get into the habit of doing that. It will help you hit a lot more E's, I can assure you. Here, I also told you, right? I think it's usually better to start clearing from the Grump. Just this, but it doesn't make a huge difference. There is arguments for clearing the blue here because there might break out a fight and whatever. See, now what you did here, what you could have done here, and what you should have done here, especially because this is warded, which you cannot know, of course, but you should, and also you should usually expect that this is warded. Yeah. But what you could have just done here is walk here, just walk in here. With the way this wave is situated, you can just walk in here and do a really good counter gank. You would have probably killed all of them right away. Also, clearing Grump here I think is a mistake because it doesn't really give you anything. Right, like, the only reason for clearing Grump here instead of going bot is if you would hit level 6 or level 7 or whatever, like hit a level spike. But since that's not the case, I mean, it doesn't really do anything. I guess it's fine since you're not really missing anything, but see, now they're spotting you. If you just walk here, then they won't spot you, and you have a really good counter gank. Like, that's something I see. Low elo players, they never do that. They never just do lane ganks, but lane ganks are so strong. Because this brush here, or this one, they're almost always warded. Like, it's very likely they're warded, but lane brushes are much less warded. And if anything, it's usually the ones that are a bit more to their side, right? Like, this one might be warded, and this one is also quite often warded, but this one is almost never warded. So being in here and just baiting them in, it would work 100%. Of course, the fiddle is also here. But you would have already been here, right? There were definitely opportunities to do stuff.
And they just kept fighting. Well, I kept fighting as well.
Yeah, I mean, this obviously worked out for you. Kind of. The Diana round bot, of course. But I think if you had just went in this brush here, then there wouldn't have even been a time window for the Diana to roam. They would have just been dead. Yeah, here you were quite indecisive, right? You didn't really know if you should help your team, but see, like, they're so low, and your Zed is full HP, has everything up. This is also what I mean with, like, thinking about the enemy's abilities, because you know you just fought, so the Diana has no ult, and that kind of stuff, so you should just know that you can go in here and help the Zed. You probably could have even killed the Diana if you were a little bit faster. I think she was also with them. Yeah, if you just had went over... I mean, they even know about you, of course, but still. But you got some kills here, so... Yeah, and obviously also with Sylas, right? You were quite low, but your W heals you a lot. You know that, right? I mean, obviously you know that, but
Yeah.
that's why sometimes the HP are a little bit fake, honestly, if you're super low, because you will heal up a lot of it anyways. And also that's something that happened a bit in the later stages, is that you sometimes didn't really prioritize standing close enough to the enemies to be able to W. I think that's something super important with Sylas, right? Just being able to W. We'll come to that, I guess. Also here I told you to clear the wolves. It's just, as I said, it's just nice to always clear the both of the camps that are on the side, so they will respawn together. But obviously in this case they won't respawn together because you cleared the Grump a little bit earlier, but in general you want to clear both of them, or like the full side, just so it respawns at the same time again. Unless you need to move somewhere, of course. Then here, yeah, here again in the game you didn't really look top. I think you could have just ran there earlier. And now she's too far back. Yeah, here very important to take the red before going to the Herald, because you're very close to level 8. So like hitting level spikes is something low elo players usually don't think about, but it's super important.
Yeah, I
Like,
know. I'm mindful of levels.
okay, that's good, because like levels give you so much power. And here I think, I mean, yeah, you could have just ran top again. Like her wave is so fucked, you know. She needs to walk here. She needs to get this wave in the tower. So she really is like, she has to risk her life here, but you're not really punishing it. And the Gragas even dies. I mean, he's obviously an idiot there for dying, but you still should have just been there and punished her. But you just simply like, and it was also difficult for me to really tell you what to do because you're not looking at them often enough. Of course, we knew that she was low, so, and I think I also told you to go top there, but yeah, just like these are the kind of things you just need to start seeing more and more. But they happen so much in Silver, really. At some point it's gonna click for you, and then you will just see like how easy it is to get kills in that elo. I mean, you even got super like a lot of kills right in this game. You probably also would have won, of course, if the Kaiser didn't go AFK, but in general, you could have gotten even more kills, is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
Yeah, so far, the biggest takeaway, I guess, is not seeing the map.
Yeah, that's definitely the biggest thing. Like just looking at the lanes more, just with your hover with your mouse or whatever, just look at them, see their HP. It's so important. You're like playing with a blindfold on, you know, if you're not looking at the HP. Also here, I think flashing for the Dana is definitely not worth. Especially like you have a huge shutdown, and I think first of all you will get her no matter what, actually, because the Gragas is still there to slow her. But especially with a 500 gold shutdown, you want to make sure that you don't lose it. So flashing here is just wasting a 5-minute cooldown for like 300 gold, which is simply not worth, you know? Like it makes you so much more likely to die if you're playing without flash. Also here I told you to place a Herald, which was obviously super important because it was like you obviously want to place it before 40 minutes for the platings. Yeah, now your jungle's actually coming up again as well. Right, like, I think, yeah, you can kill the Gwen here because she's overextending, but if she wasn't overextending here, then, see, like, it would be so nice to just clear this, then clear this, and you're not far away from the other side. You can just clear the full thing, and you're gonna be so rich, and you're gonna have a lot of gold to spend. Right, that's how it should be. And that's how you get good CS numbers as well. Just having them respawn in straight lines. I think you did a mistake here, by the way, by you walked for no reason. You didn't have to walk here for using it, right? You could have just stayed behind the wall.
I don't know how Fiddle
Yeah.
like the range.
I think you can even stand here. Then this ward might not even spot you. But obviously she wasn't even able to really react. But still, like, definitely don't need to walk into her vision here. Like this, now you're gonna even be spotted by the minions.
But I used everything on her and she managed
Wait,
to survive.
actually didn't kill her. Let's see if you could have done something differently, probably.
missed one auto attack.
I think what you could have done here is just walk more here, right? Like try to cut her away. You know, I think you could have caught up to her because also your E is up in 4 seconds. I think you could have caught up to her. All you need to make sure is to dodge. Like, see, now you're stepping back. That's the mistake here. You're a little bit scared. You step back, and that's where you lose her. You were still completely fine to chase her here. Because she's not gonna be able to run away far enough, and you will have E in 4 seconds. You will 100% catch up to her. So just what you should have done is just walk here in this line a bit, because she's obviously gonna run towards her turret, but she's too far up. You will cut off her way, and you will definitely get the thing again. But now you're just stepping back, and then you also get hit by the ult, of course, so you're super low. But yeah, that's one of those things that if you're mindful of her ult here and you're like actively trying to dodge it, it's not that difficult usually. Yeah, you definitely could have killed her there. I mean, at this point you're super fat, right? Yeah, there's this. See here also you were not looking but once, but if you every time you're coming out of base you need to. This where you're walking here is the time you need to decide what you want to do. Do you want to clear the jungle or do you want to impact the lane? In this situation, it should have definitely been impact the lane. Like they were super low. They were super overextended. They're also gonna go for the tower here. So you could have. I think you even killed them a little bit later, right? But you could have killed them much faster as well. And now you just clear your jungle. You give them the tower. It's obviously like in this elo, so many things happen that shouldn't happen. I guess, right? Like in higher elos, maybe they would even. They would probably just base here. They wouldn't take the wave or whatever. It's just. I mean, you get the Blitzcrank to the Vayne escapes. See, imagine. Sorry, imagine if you had flash here. You could have probably killed the Vayne as well. But you used it on the Diana that was dead anyways, so you could have gotten like a small shot on at least. Would have definitely been better. That's definitely one thing. Like don't flash for kills that are gonna be dead anyways, right? Only flash for kills if you really, and also only obviously if they're important, right? Like the Diana was 2 and 4. She wasn't really worth flashing for if you're super fed yourself. Here I told you, right? Like I think buying Magus here would not have been a bad idea. You got a lot of kills after that, you know. Yeah, and that would have really snowballed you super hard, like even harder. Obviously, it's a little bit risky, but you need to think about how do you actually win this game now. It was still winnable, you know, even with the rage quit. I think Magus would have been good.
Yeah. And in this situation, once again, I eat first without W,
Yeah.
even though it was in range. Yeah.
Yeah, you did that the whole game, but it's fine. I mean, just start doing it. It's not difficult, right? Just start pressing W before E, and you're gonna hit so many more E's as well. And see how many free kills you get. Again, you flash for her. Yeah, you just had some kind of hatred for the Diana, I guess, but I think again you didn't really need to flash for her. See, like he's gonna stun her, and now you were see like your E. Your second E was super close. That was so, like, I think you could have even reached her without that. Pretty likely.
Yeah, I could have flashed later anyways.
I think this movement was actually pretty good. You were kind of baiting the Blitzcrank here. Of course you missed the E, and now you die, but... I mean, you're a little bit desperate at this point because your ADC disconnected, of course. So...
And my teammates kinda stopped trying, I guess.
Yeah, the Gragas wanted to have F the whole time. And that stuff. Definitely rough. This ult was actually so huge. I think you should have probably went on the Gwen a little bit earlier here, but I mean, you got her 1 second later, it's fine.
Yeah, this is the situation, the same where I flashed, like it's same range.
I hear the Blitz. I mean, the Alistair is trolling you pretty hard here by not helping, but then the Blitzcrank is also, he thinks you're dead, so he leaves you. So both supports kind of grief there. And now, I mean, now you're super fat. You have like 11,000 gold. The second richest person has like 9,000 gold. You're 3,000 gold ahead. This is super winnable. But you're like one person down, and you're still only 3,000 or like 4,000 gold down. So yeah, again, I mean, yeah, now it's definitely correct to buy the Rabadons. I think it's a bigger power spike than the Magis, but so I think in those kind of games where you really are desperate, or even not even if someone is disconnected or whatever, just if you feel like you need to be the carry is the biggest reason to buy Magis in like losing games, I would say, you know. So it just can give you like that extra little bit of AP that you might need, or not even a little bit, it's quite a lot of AP that you might need to be able to make the difference.
Wait.
Again, right, of course you just completely one-shot, but again you didn't W before E. Now this guy's obviously inting the Alistar actually trolls. See, what you could have done here to chase him is take the blast plant. Instead what you did was E over, and then you didn't have the E to dash closer, you know? If you use the blast plant, you can chase him here, you probably kill him. I mean, probably not, he has flash, but you definitely could have gotten more there. And if he doesn't have flash, then you kill him. So always use like these blast plants, whatever, if you can, instead of using your movement spells.
At this point, I really believe that we can win, but this fight.
Yeah, this fight was a little bit rough.
And you know, this is the situation. I don't even know if he would have won it, even if we were 5. I probably should have never. No, against Fiddle, I probably should have baited him, but I did have flash. Yeah, it just interfered and nothing.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I don't know, this stacking here was just in general a little bit desperate, I would say. Right, like you were getting killed left and right all the time. So and this kind of play is one you should usually look for if you're just, I don't know, you don't really find any other way to get kills. You need to surprise them. So here, I don't know, and especially, I don't know, the fact that you E out of this brush here as well. I think you should just wait for them to actually run into you. You were getting a little bit impatient there. So just like be more patient there, and then maybe just get a free kill, and then it's fine and you don't all die. Of course, it was just also a little bit unlucky that everyone was in position to help, especially the Fiddlesticks. Like, he could have been anywhere, honestly. Just a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, I also got blasted.
See, now see, like this is what I mean. You're running away, but in reality, what I mean, obviously you're probably dead here no matter what, but you need to try to at least use your W, no? It's gonna heal you so much. So, like, running away here is just the wrong kind of playstyle for Sylas. You should try to get into range to W someone to heal up again, instead of running away. Then maybe you would have gotten, like, a kill. It obviously wouldn't have made a game-winning difference, but just, like, in general, you have W up again now, so you should probably try to use it on Blitzwing or someone. Just like in general. Of course, right, like, it's understandable that you try to run away with 1 HP or whatever, but yeah. Someone tried to asking what elo this is. This is like silver elo, right?
Yeah, silver, bronze.
Yeah. But he also had an AFK, which is of course quite unlucky. See, like, but see how many free kills you're getting handed, right? Like, in higher elos, this Diana with 300 gold shutdown, what is she even doing there? It's just super dumb.
Yeah, Fiddle just outplayed me.
Yeah, he pressed Sonya, is unlucky. I guess here is maybe a situation where you should have just run away right after Zonia's. Maybe you could have lived.
Yeah.
Right, sure. Like now, but probably wouldn't have lived either.
No, I think I would have.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think so actually. But I don't know. I mean, again, I probably wouldn't have made a huge difference at this point.
Okay, so
It's just very difficult to take objectives without an ADC, of course, so definitely sucks. But yeah, as I said, I think Sylas actually seems like a champ that people can't really deal with. Like, they were not expecting you to deal so much damage or whatever, I feel like in a lot of situations, so you're getting handed so many free kills, and if that keeps happening in your games, of course you will win a lot of them, I think. So I think you can definitely climb with Sylas the way you're playing, for sure, like at least to gold, I'm sure, and obviously there will be new challenges, right, in every elo. People will become a little bit more aware of the abilities and whatever, and play around them better. But I think overall, if you like, the biggest thing you need to start working on is just actually looking at the lanes, right? Like actually looking at them and seeing the HP and seeing what you can do with them, and then also just clearing a bit more control. Although I think like in this game it's kind of hard to say, but of course your CS numbers are also really low this game. But you obviously made it up with a lot of kills. If you have a lot of kills, then you don't need to care about CSing that much. So I think that's basically Sylas jungle playstyle in general. I didn't really understand this flash, by the way,
I
but
don't either.
obviously it doesn't matter. Like, whatever. No, they just ended. Okay.
That
But I think there's still like a decently lot you can learn from this game overall. Especially, I think, especially the looking at lanes part is one that should be easily fixable, right? Just you will see like how many more kills you will also find on the map if you just see the HP of enemies. And you can just do it, right? Like while you're jungling, you don't need to do a lot. It's like PvE gameplay. You're just playing against bots, so you shouldn't need to look too much at your jungle. Of course, you need to use your abilities every now and then, but while they're on cooldown, you just look at your lanes, and then you see what's happening. So, do you have like any more questions, maybe?
I don't know. Of course, this was a lot of information,
Yeah.
a lot to think about. No, it's when you're playing for so long, it's hard to learn new habits.
Yeah, I understand, of course. I mean, what do you think? Like, what's your what do you think you will like? Do you think you will struggle with looking at lanes or whatever, or where are you saying this?
Yeah, I think um, as a jungler, you have to do a lot, right? And you have to react to the map a lot. And currently, I know that my mechanics suck, so whenever I'm playing, I'm thinking about my mechanics.
I
And
think your mechanics are fine. Like they're completely fine, especially for your elo. Of course, like you're not gonna maybe get to diamond or whatever with these mechanics yet. But obviously, if you play more and more of Sylas, you'll also get better, right? Don't limit yourself. It's fine. Like maybe your mechanics are not very good at the moment, but if you keep playing more, you will automatically get better. That's how it is. Well, when I started playing Ekko, I was obviously terrible at him. So it's just you will get better over time. And but I think the mechanics are not the thing that will make the difference in most of the games. Of course, like one mechanic that I told you many times during this game that will just help you is using the W before E. But you obviously realized that yourself also. I think really the big part is just looking at the lanes, and then also maybe sometimes just prioritizing the jungle clear over. Although I feel like that wasn't even so much like I feel like there's been coaching sessions I've done where people were way worse with that, right? Like with not clearing their jungle. I feel like what's important for you is to realize like it's very good, or in general you want to clear the jungle camps that are on the same side, close to each other timing wise, so they spawn again close, like yeah, so they spawn again basically at the same time, so you can just clear them over and over again, because the jungle camps are the gold that you will always have in the back of your pocket, right? Like it's the steady gold income that you have as a jungler, right? Laners have their minions coming in and you have the jungle camps, so you need to make sure to clear them. And the lower the elo, the more you can just clear them without having to think about other stuff, because of course kills give you like big boosts in gold and whatever, but it's also coin flip if you just go for kills over and over again. right? In some games it might work out, in other games you might go 0-10 because you just went for kills and the enemies maybe outplayed you or whatever. So as a jungler, like in this elo, maybe you're good enough to actually outplay people oftentimes, but at some point you will notice that people are gonna get mechanically better, and then you will just be missing a lot of strength because you're not focusing on jungling. But as I said with Sylas, I'm not an expert on him. I think on Sylas you generally have quite low CS. Let's see. I will look at pros, like how much CS they have. But I think obviously in high elo games it's still different again. But I mean, we were looking at this one, right, with the champions. So when you compare to like platinum players or whatever, they had definitely have more CS. Whoops, I wanted to click on Sylas. You can still see my screen, right?
Yep.
Like when we were looking at the Sylas stats and the CS numbers average, right? Like for silver, other silver players are doing similar, but in higher elos, you will just like if you play now in platinum, you would just be weaker because you're missing a lot of gold due to missing CS. So that's definitely something you will also just try to actively prioritize it, right? You might miss out on a kill or two every now and then, but it's about finding the balance in the long run, you know? I think it's just super risky to always go for kills.
But you see, even in this game, there were multiple occasions where I farmed when I could have sprinted straight to lane. So that's the problem.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying you're right. That's what I told you in the one situation, for example. When you're coming out of base is when you should usually make the decisions what you want to do next, right? You have some downtime to think, and that's when you should. It's usually better to not do like half things, right? Either fully commit to just ganking before you clear, or clear and then gank. Of course, sometimes there will always be like exceptions, right? There will always be exceptions where maybe sometimes there's a fight breaking out that you need to join or whatever, but it's so hard to make general statements about that. You will just have to gain experience and see, right, and just learn from your mistakes, of course. I know, of course, if you say you have bad habits and that stuff, it's gonna be hard, but let me just see. I want to see some Sylas jungle players. They also built, I mean, some of them built Zanya's before Rabadon's even. Interestingly. Can you even see the CS here? Yeah, I guess in high elo they actually have even less CS. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's all about perma ganking nonstop.
Yeah. No, I know. Sylas is not a good farming jungle. So maybe you should actually then look more for ganks. But obviously, I think then you still need to just try to prioritize hitting level spikes, you know? You said you're quite mindful of that, so that's good. Definitely try to get buffs before fighting, and also try to clear camps. Just try to clear camps when you have downtime, right? When there's nothing happening. And yeah, but as I said, like I'm not really a Sylas player. It's definitely a different playstyle. It's more about just forcing. Like, see, they have a lot of very high kill games, I guess, especially for being so high elo. Or at least the one tricks. Yeah, I don't know. As I said, I think Sylas is actually a bit more difficult than Ekko overall. But if you enjoy him, and it seems to work, right? Like I see how it looked in your game, and you were able to get a lot of kills. I mean, you're not really even. Do you feel like you're struggling? I mean, you're winning, right? So you should be climbing. You just started picking up Sylas. You've been winning quite a lot with him.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Now, you really teach me a lot, and I hope that my dream to be gold on jungle will come true. You know.
No, I think jungle is definitely a role where as soon as you start understanding some stuff, it's super easy to reach gold and even platinum. Like there's so much there's so much stuff, like especially CSing. Obviously we saw Sylas is not the biggest CSer, but CSing is one thing that you can just be better than your enemy in low elo so easily as soon as you understand like the basic concept of it. That's the thing. But I mean, in general, you're doing fine, right? Win red white, especially on Sylas, you've been winning. Do you also play Viego? I think Viego on Viego I could have probably given you a better coach because I think he's my second best jungler. I think he's super fun.
Viega, yes, I played Viega a lot.
Hmm.
Well, I don't play a lot of this game because I don't have the time, but I tried playing him. I
Mm-hmm.
like him, but it's the same issue since you. I played the Kraken Slayer build
Mm-hmm.
all the
Yeah, I think you
time,
should do that.
so you are very squishy, you know?
Not really. I mean, yes, you're kind of squishy, but yeah, second you build something like Wit's End, and then you're not that squishy actually.
Yeah.
Why did you take cut down here? Was that like a mistake?
Were there any tanks?
Yeah, the Malphite, I guess, but still, it's not worth. I mean, the cut down is really only worth on ADCs because you also gotta think about with cut down is that you get base HP with higher levels, right? And in jungle, you're not really under leveled most of the time. So cut down is really only for ADCs, if anything, because ADCs are usually a little bit lower level.
Mm-hmm.
And also just generally less base HP and that stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think last stand is usually the best.
so I was doing fine with Viego, but then I hit an unlucky streak, and
Mm.
I was just very frustrated. You know,
Like
these
these four
games,
games.
yeah.
But I think that's not a good reason to quit. A champ. Especially, I think Viego's such an enjoyable champ. I can really only
Yeah,
recommend him to everyone. He's super fun and he's actually quite underrated at the moment. I feel like there's not a lot of Viego players, but he's pretty decent in the meta.
and there's this NA guy, forgot his name. There's this Viego main who streams a lot, so I watch him from time to time.
Mm. I only saw like some Korean Viego. He also goes Blue Smite, by the way. I think Blue Smite and also Futures Market. I think Blue Smite is actually quite good on Viego as well. Like on Viego, you can play so aggressively. He wins basically any duel in the game almost. Like he wins against most champs. He has Kraken Slayer and then like Wit's End or Bork. So I guess if you need to pick AP, you should just play Sylas then, and then if you feel like you need to pick AD, I can just recommend Viego. I mean, he's a super fun champ. He's quite strong. And also, Viego teaches you to play all the other champs in the game as well, right? Because you overtake
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
I think that's
Uh,
actually such a good side effect for low elo players.
I cannot count how many times after I possessed someone, I just smashed buttons.
Yeah,
You
like
just
do
smash
you?
buttons and you are
I mean,
again.
do you know all the champs in the game? That's usually a question I ask in the beginning, but you told me that you've played for like 10 years, so I assumed that you just know all the abilities.
I don't know newer champs that well. Isla,
Okay.
for example, Renata,
Hmm.
from
Okay.
that time because I didn't play for a year or so. Those
Yeah.
champs at least.
Okay. I mean, yeah, to be honest, it's kind of the same for me. I think when I overtake a failures or someone, I am also a little bit overwhelmed sometimes, but
Yeah.
yeah, in general, I think Vego is a very cool champ also to pick up, but of course, I think in general, like just one tricking is obviously a good way to climb, but at the same time, if you want to actually improve at the game, it might not be the best. Because I think there's a lot of people that are just straight one tricks that are kind of inflated and they don't know how to play the game. They just know how to play their champ, right? And they might be quite good mechanically, but not really anything else. Their macro often sucks, so yeah, like especially in Euro Elo, if you see people with like over 1,000,000 points or whatever, you can usually assume that they're quite bad at the game.
Yeah, yeah, I noticed that actually.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially the Yasuos.
yeah. Especially the
3
Yasuos,
mil,
for
3
sure. Like
bit.
it's like they're just showing you that they have played so much of their champ and they still haven't understood how to climb out of their low elo with it. So I actually don't understand when people get frustrated at people that have a lot of mastery on their champs.
It's
Hmm.
honestly a mystery. And you know, when I look, I sometimes check with what kind of teammates I guess I get.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, mm, win rate wise, I get people with 50% win rate most of the time, and I don't believe that Riot is actively making you lose, but sometimes it does feel like that. But I
Mm.
guess it's just variance.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but I see a lot of people with like 400 games who are silver 4.
yeah.
Like how is that possible?
I mean, either
It's
they're for fun players or they're just not very good at the game. But yeah, I think actually you should just not look up. This season, ever since they changed the champ select thing where you can't see, where you can't see the names anymore, I have not checked my teammates once, and I think it's been better, honestly. There's really no reason, especially in low elo, but even high elo, there's no reason to check for your teammates. It doesn't give you like it. If anything, it will probably sometimes tilt you to see that someone picked a champ they can't play or whatever. So it just doesn't give you anything positive. I think that there's really no reason, especially if it tilts you sometimes, maybe.
it's I think a lot of people are suffering from the same as I do. Um, like um, like everyone is kind of entitled that they should win every single
Hmm.
game. And when something goes a little bit wrong, like in this game, for example, they just stop playing the game.
Yeah,
And that's for me personally, that's extremely frustrating. But
I understand.
no,
No, I definitely understand. When I sometimes smurfed, especially in the last season where they hadn't changed the MMR thing, and I also had like on some accounts I played in like silver or whatever. I noticed that as well. That's super frustrating, right? Like people just giving up and just not understanding that you can still win games. I think the best way to overcome that is just to really play around yourself and realize that you can even win a lot of 4v5s in low elo, especially if you play carry champs, like Sylas, Echo, Viego, they're all champs that can win games 4v5 if you're ahead enough. And oftentimes, if you do well enough in the early, obviously your teammates are also less likely to quit. Of course, this game, I don't know, the Kaiser was just mentally ill, but maybe if you had ganked her once or whatever, then she wouldn't have quit. Who knows? I mean, oh, you actually ganked her once, right, in the beginning, but yeah, obviously you can't really influence what your teammates do, and I think that's why you also just generally shouldn't think about your teammates' gameplay that much. And especially in
yeah,
low elo, of course, it will just frustrate you most of the time. So
yes, and I am yet to find the solution for myself to not get upset. After such a session like this, you get off your computer and you just feel angry.
yeah, no,
I
I
hate
I
it.
com I can completely relate to that,
And it
100%.
starts affecting your real life a little bit, and that's
Genuinely,
why.
when that happens, I think the best thing to do is just take a break for a couple of days and really only play the game when you actually feel like it.
Yeah,
I think that's
that's
something I also have not done enough. But for example, recently I took like a 5 day break. I had a Monday where I queued up and that was like one of the worst experiences. My ADC was playing with the support and the support misplayed or whatever, and then my ADC just started running to my lane like I was playing mid and just started punishing me. I that felt so fucking unfair to me because I was getting punished for the mistakes of my support, and I was just not allowed to have fun, and that was just I knew at that point I just had to stop and like take a break, and it was the probably the best decision. Like ever since then I've had much more fun, and I think it also really made me want to play the game again. Like usually when I play every day, then it's like yeah I might as well play. I don't really have that much better things to do. It's the only game that I play. It's kind of a hobby, but when you actually have that feeling where you're like, oh damn, I really want to win some games and I really want to go back to playing some Echo now. That's usually also when you play by far the best, and when you can actually climb. So
yeah,
that's also really good like mindset advice in my opinion to just if you want to climb, don't think like you don't need to stress out, especially ever since they changed the LP where you get quite a lot of LP. You don't even need to grind that much anymore to reach the elos you want to reach. Right,
yeah,
like
but
you gain LP so much faster if you just win.
I also don't like it because you will get a bad streak and then you are out of the division. And it happened a lot to me now. I'm a silver 3, let's say. I'm like 75 LP, and then I lose 3 games in a row and I'm out of silver 3. I'm silver 4 again, and then I have to win 2 games again, and it's just frustrating experience.
Yeah.
I actually preferred the alt LP games.
See,
Just
just like not trying to flex or anything here, but see, like you have like cold streak means you have 3 losses in a row, and you've played 16 of those. I will just see like on my account how many. I think I only have like one or so cold streaks. Yeah, I only have one cold streak on all my games. I have half of your games, of course, but still. Like, and I think that's because I usually just I don't even allow myself to go on these cold streaks, where I lose so many games. I
but
usually just start taking breaks.
mhm.
And I
So
think
you
that's how you can climb.
games, you quit for the day, right?
What?
You lose 2 games, you take a break for the day, right?
I mean, it depends. If I feel like playing more, of course, then I will play more. But yeah, generally I don't grind. I'm not like a huge grinder, honestly. See, like I only ever play like 6 games in a day. There's some people that obviously play like 10 games. But
Same as me.
yeah,
Same for me.
yeah, I think usually you should take breaks. Oftentimes. Yeah, I
All right,
think yeah, just play when you actually feel like it is like very good advice I can give anyone, honestly. I know a lot of people just they queue up because they're bored or whatever, but that's probably the worst reason to queue up.
also, for people who are watching your stream and maybe are feeling the same, um, I don't remember which coach did that and from which country, but I know the story about a cycling team. Their coach implemented a system where every day his team tried to improve on a particular set of skill of at least 1%.
Mm.
And day after day, they trained and they kept improving on different aspects of the sport. And eventually they became, I think, Olympic champions.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
that's like,
you read Atomic Habits.
so,
Yeah, yeah.
sorry.
Did you read like Atomic Habits or whatever? I think that's like in a book. I read that. I think that's also in there.
No, I did.
Interesting.
Someone else told me
Okay.
that story, but it actually makes sense, if
Yeah, of course.
so I took notes. I definitely will rewatch this
Mm-hmm.
um, this session, and I wrote down a checklist for myself.
That's
And
good.
every single game, whenever I'll be playing, I will have that checklist in front of me. And first thing, of course, like the biggest issue is checking the map, and I will
Yeah.
try to
Not just
that.
checking the map, just actually checking like the screen, you know? Because a lot of people look at the map, but they don't actually go there with their screen. That's the important part. So you can see the HP and that stuff.
Everyone can learn from Faker. He plays StarCraft while playing League of Legends.
Yeah, Faker also has like 20,000 inputs a second with his like he
Yeah,
switches to everyone in the team. Of course, optimally you would use like the F keys, right? Like F1, F2, F3 to switch to your teammates, but I don't even do that. I think it's super
too much.
stressful, and it's
Yeah,
it's definitely not necessary if you're in silver. But like,
I tried to do that before, and I was like,
yeah,
nah, no, not for me.
yeah, yeah. It's
So,
it's definitely not necessary at all. Right? Like, it's a small optimization. Of course, you can like this with the 1% improvements and whatever. It's of course nice for like optimizing everything. But if you're in silver, there's so many big things that you can easily fix that will give you like not 1% increase that will give you like 50% increases. You know, in skill. Obviously,
yeah.
that's just a random number, but I'm just saying, they will give you like huge increases as soon as. That's what I mean when I'm saying like at some point some things will just click and you will understand that you just need to be in certain spots at certain times or like start clearing from certain uh, spots and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so even in this game, I honestly did stomp them. It was a stomp from my side,
Mm-hmm.
but if I would employ the your points from today, I would have stomped even more.
Yeah.
Like I would definitely be able to 1v9 them completely.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Like for example, I think if I was in that game, I would be confident that I could have won it. Like from in a lot of situations, from your like point of being super fat, I think there was definitely a lot of opportunities to win that game, even in the 4v5.
yeah. And just being mindful of fiddlesticks, I think it's a little, yeah, it was another mistake that I allowed myself to get baited by him three
Mm-hmm.
times in a row. But
Yeah, definitely. That's also like part of mechanics, right? Just playing around that kind of stuff. Fiddlesticks is a very difficult champ to play around in low elo, I think, because you're like Fiddlesticks is easier to play around if you have kind of good vision, you know, like you can see him ulting and whatever. But in low elo, you
yeah,
can't really rely on your supports to ward well, so it's definitely
yeah,
easy, more difficult. But also the Fiddlesticks are usually not good in low elo, so it kind of balances out, of course.
I think supports in my yellow don't even know that they have the support items.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's definitely something I notice when I play in lower elos. Like the vision or the missing vision sometimes makes the game so much harder to play.
Yes, and it's something I noticed as well. And even looking at the map, uh, I thought this to myself before, but I needed someone else to tell me that I should start doing it. But
Yeah.
also regarding vision, uh, bot lane, I played a lot of ADC, and one thing that I do a lot, I fight for vision all the time. And even as ADC, you should not buy pinks, but I do
Mm,
when I'm playing ADC because I know that if you win vision battle, then it's so much more easy for your jungler to gank. But
yeah,
like people
for
don't
sure.
do that for me. But yeah, anyway,
Yeah, so you should often assume that things are warded, like especially in the river and the tri-brush, you should generally assume that it's warded as a jungler. Especially if
yeah,
the enemies are pushing and whatever, it's very likely they step there and place the ward at some point.
yeah, it's something what I didn't do. If you are ganking bot, I didn't gank bot at all this game. But if you are blast coning to river from red side.
Mm-hmm.
What I saw what pros do all the time, they just start sweeping at the blast cone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one
And
thing
I
also
think,
with the Blastcon that's super big is the fact that you will be seen much later, right? If you just walk through the river and they have it warded, they will see you quite early. But if you use the Blastcon, you will be boosted like I don't know, like you will be boosted so much further. It's like it's saving you probably like 4 seconds or something, especially in the early game. So even if it's warded, you might be able to get off ganks oftentimes
yeah,
if the blast comes
that's
up. So that's also why you should never just like waste the blast con or whatever. I think it's very valuable for junglers for
mm,
sure.
yeah,
All right, yeah, you can always message me, of course, on Discord if you have any more questions or whatever. And
yeah.
I guess I
Sounds
will
good.
upload this session the next couple of days. I still have some like today in 10 minutes there will be a session going live as well that I did. And then I still have
Mhm.
another one, but after that I will upload it. If you want it earlier or whatever, I could also send it to you.
No problem. I'll watch it on YouTube's.
Okay, that's good. All right.
Okay, then. Thank you very much. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
uh, this is the best money I've spent on League of all
Okay, that's
time.
good to hear.
I really appreciate it. You are a great coach.
Thank
You
you.
have exceeded my expectations 120%, and I'm very thankful.
Oh,
So,
thanks. That's very good feedback. All right. I
okay,
hope
then
I
I will,
genuinely hope it really helps you to climb as well. Of course. I will
yes, I
also
will,
keep track. Like I
I will,
usually look at the people that I coach every now and then and see how they're doing.
if I will hit gold, you will be the first person I write.
Okay, that's nice to hear. Okay,
Okay,
I'm
then,
gonna
but
stop the recording.